Hi, my name is Ben Harland, and do you want to diet without hating your life? Well, so do I. But if you want to follow one of these diets out here, like you follow vegetarian, you follow keto, you follow, I don't know, paleo, you're gonna hate your life because you can't eat half of the food that you love eating. What if I told you there's a diet wherein you can eat the food that you like to eat? Well, it would take some convincing, wouldn't it? Well, let me tell you, I got some relatively convincing evidence supported by the laws of physics. If you're anything like me, you hate the diets out there. Not really that controversial. Nobody likes dieting. That's why you have to pledge to do it every year on New Year's Eve. Let's follow a good diet, one that you can actually stick to. I'm going to tell you about why all these other diets, they suck, and why my diet is good. The diet that I am choosing to tell you about. That diet is the calorie deficit. First, let's talk about the other diets. You got diets like vegetarian. Why do you not like them? Because you can't eat meat. We love eating meat. Why would you want to not eat meat? Alternatively, you have carnivore, which I would like more because it's only meat, but then you can't eat the delightful vegetables. You can't eat carbs. Carbs cause you so much joy. I don't know why you would want to avoid carbs. All these other diets, you know what else they do? They make you hungry. They make you starving. I don't like to be hungry. But on a calorie deficit, you don't have to be hungry. You just have to know what to eat. So for my diet, I have to fix those two issues. I have to tell you how to eat whatever you want, but without gaining weight and while losing weight. And I have to tell you how to do it without being hungry, of course. So there's two solutions to these two issues. First, I'll tell you about what the government can do. So the government could probably help by, giving you accurate information about what diets are and how you should eat, because there's a lot of fad diets and they suck. So the government diet that they should put out, or which should be the same as my diet, but they should also make it their diet. They need accurate info. For example, I'm sure you've heard that the average person should eat 2,000 calories every day. That's not true. That's the average woman. I am a man. Men and women are not the same. I am hungrier than the average woman. The average man, to maintain his weight, will need to eat, according to verywellfit.com, will need to eat 2,500 calories to 2,800 calories a day if he's mediocre active to maintain weight. If you eat more than that, you gain weight. If you eat less than that, you lose weight. How fast should they be losing weight? These fad diets, they put you on, in the way that they work is they put you on a great big calorie deficit. The calorie deficit is so big, you're hungry all the time. You want to be on a 500 calorie deficit. This is, of course, according to WebMD. So take it with a grain of salt, although that is a reputable source for whatever reason. I don't really like them. They tell me I have cancer if I start to cough. Government also needs to speak out a bit more about the obesity epidemic in the United States. Well, epidemic, they're kind of doing it to themselves. I myself have struggled with obesity and overeating. They need to talk about it more. You know that 42.4% of American adults are obese? Moreover, did you know that this causes their quality of life to be terrible? This is, of course, according to the CDC for both of those. And on a personal level, people need to research more. They need to research on what their diet is before they go on it, because otherwise it's going to be awful. On about half of the time, people choose to go on to a fad diet. Fad diet, well, vegetarian, vegan, keto, etc., paleo, carnivore, whatever. On average, a person will go on 126 of them in their lifetime. On average, I go on less, so some would go on more, of course. The calorie deficit is way easier to stick to because the calorie deficit is entirely composed of just eat a little less or eat the right things. For example, if you eat chicken, protein is in the chicken. Lots of glorious protein. And protein, little did you know, suppresses hunger. It keeps you from being hungry, which makes the entire dieting process easier because you don't even have to think about it. If you don't like chicken, go for ham. If you don't like ham, you could probably do like beans or something, although good luck with that. Meat is best to stick with. And of course, that is according to abecsw.org.com, whichever it was. So they're fairly reputable, I'd say. If you listen to my solutions, my calorie deficit solution, what will you get? You'll get a better quality of life. And that is, of course, coming from the CDC. You'll get 3 or more extra years on the end of your life if you lose the weight. If you're already overweight and you drop down to a good weight, you'll, on average, get 1 to 3 or more extra years tacked onto the end of your life just by losing some weight, and that's according to NBC.com. And you'll be listening to Newton's laws of physics, which say that matter cannot be created or destroyed. You can't just eat vegetables and then the fat disappears. If you eat too many vegetables, you still keep the fat. Calories are a form of energy. Kcals is what we measure them in, but we just shorten it to calories, kilocalories, because America. But if you listen to my advice, you're also listening to Isaac Newton, a very famous scientist. I'm sure that you've heard of him. If you don't listen to my solutions, well, what issues will you run into? Well, you'll die earlier, and your life will suck, according to the CDC at least. So, how are you going to get on this diet, do you ask? Well, first you got to figure out how many calories you need to eat. And how are you going to figure that out? Well, you're going to go on to a website called or you're going to go on to calculator.net, and then go to their calorie calculator section, and you put in a little bit of personal info. It doesn't store it at all, and it'll spit out at you a fairly accurate number of calories that you should be eating every single day. And it'll give you some numbers to lose weight as well. So in review, I told you about I told you about other diets and why they're bad. I told you about the government's solution that they should institute. I told you about my solution that you should institute. And I told you how to do it. And I told you why my solution, you need to listen to me, because my solution is better than the other solutions. And if you don't listen to me, well, take it from the CDC. Your life will be terrible.